Certainly. Here's a rephrased version of the text while maintaining the same length and structure. They don't allow others' words to pull them into unnecessary conflicts. They don't let the opinions of those who don't matter shape their self-worth. They recognize negativity for what it is, a distraction, a test, a fleeting moment that only holds power if they choose to engage with it. Some individuals thrive in negativity because that's all they know. They seek arguments, conflicts, and reasons to complain because it fuels them, giving them a sense of importance or control. When you engage with them, you're handing them exactly what they crave. You're feeding the fire they depend on. But when you refuse to give your energy to such negativity and redirect your focus to what truly matters, you regain control. You rise above the noise, the drama, and the draining battles that serve no purpose. In doing so, you preserve your peace, keeping it untouched by the chaos surrounding you. The external world is unpredictable, moving in ways beyond your control, shaped by circumstances, people, and situations often unrelated to you. One moment, everything may seem perfectly harmonious, and the next, chaos erupts without warning. If your inner peace depends on the external world, you'll constantly find yourself at its mercy. External events, whether positive or negative, are temporary. They come and go, but your peace should remain steady, unwavering regardless of what happens around you. True peace comes from within, cultivated through awareness, detachment, and the understanding that not every event requires your emotional involvement. When someone disrespects you, the immediate urge is to react, to defend yourself, to make them understand their words or actions were wrong. But what if there was a response far more powerful than words? What if, instead of reacting in the moment, you let time take its course? Time has a way of revealing everything, truths, intentions, and consequences. By withholding your reaction and allowing time to unfold, you shift the power dynamic. Instead of being controlled by the disrespect, you place the power back in your hands. Reacting impulsively often stems from a place of ego, insecurity, or heightened emotion. By letting time be your response, you maintain control, rising above the situation rather than being dragged into it. Time brings clarity, not just to you but also to those observing. If someone disrespects you publicly, your silence will resonate louder than any retort. People watch, notice, and remember. When one person acts out of disrespect while the other remains composed, the contrast becomes glaringly obvious. Your silence becomes a statement, not of weakness but of strength. It demonstrates that you don't waste energy on meaningless battles. You conserve your energy for what truly matters, refusing to let temporary situations steal your peace. Instead, you observe as situations naturally unfold, without forcing an outcome. The need to defend yourself diminishes when you realize time will handle it for you. Those who misunderstood you will eventually see the truth. Those who spoke against you will face the weight of their own words. And those who disrespected you will be left reflecting on their actions. Every situation that feels urgent in the moment will look different with time. What feels like an insult today may seem insignificant a week from now. What angers you now may not even matter a month later. Time puts everything into perspective, allowing emotions to settle, egos to dissolve, and clarity to emerge. When you let time guide your response, you're choosing patience over impulse, wisdom over reaction, and strength over defensiveness. Those who grasp this principle don't rush to prove themselves because they know time will ultimately reveal the truth. Many mistake silence for weakness, believing that failing to respond to disrespect or confront every insult means allowing others to dominate them. But silence isn't submission. It's a sign of wisdom. True wisdom lies in knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet, when to engage and when to step back, when to use words and when to let silence communicate for itself. In a world where everyone is eager to react, prove themselves right, and defend their pride, silence stands out as a hallmark of strength. It takes little effort to argue, retaliate, or lash out in anger. Anyone can do that. But silence requires discipline, self-control, and the ability to rise above petty conflicts. When someone tries to provoke you and you remain silent, You strip them of their power. They're left wondering why their words didn't affect you, why their actions didn't rattle you. In that moment, they realize their disrespect had no impact because you've risen above it. A wise person understands that not every insult demands a response. Words spoken in anger are often meaningless, driven by fleeting emotions that fade with time. If you react to every slight, you trap yourself in a cycle of conflict, constantly trying to prove yourself to people who don't deserve your attention. But if you stay quiet, you transcend the situation, refusing to be pulled into unnecessary drama. Silence allows you to focus on growth and meaning, rather than wasting energy on trivial disputes. Those who talk the most aren't always the wisest. True wisdom lies in knowing when words are necessary and when they're not. There's immense power in letting silence be your response, letting actions speak louder than words, and choosing to walk away from pointless debates. Silence forces others to confront themselves. When someone is disrespectful and receives no reaction, they're left alone with their negativity. They must sit with their words, their actions, and the weight of their behavior. Over time, they may come to see the truth on their own, without you ever uttering a single word. History's greatest individuals weren't those who reacted impulsively to every challenge, but those who remained composed in adversity. They understood that silence isn't a sign of weakness, but a tool of wisdom. They didn't waste energy, proving themselves to people who would never recognize their value. Instead, they let their actions, patience, and silence speak for them. In doing so, they commanded more respect than words ever could. Growth isn't measured by how much knowledge you accumulate, but by how you respond to life's challenges. Every situation presents a choice, to react impulsively or to respond with awareness. When someone disrespects you, the easiest thing to do is retaliate. When circumstances don't go your way, the natural response is frustration. But reacting impulsively keeps you trapped in the same cycle, repeating the same patterns over and over. Growth begins when you realize you don't have to act on every emotion. You can acknowledge feelings without being controlled by them. The moment you master your reactions, you gain freedom. You're no longer a slave to your emotions or external triggers. Wise individuals avoid unnecessary confrontations. They know that words spoken in anger carry no real weight, and that the opinions of those who disrespect them don't define their worth. Reacting to disrespect gives it significance, treating it as something worthy of your attention. But staying silent sends a different message, that you refuse to grant it importance. When you deny it power, it ceases to affect you. Silence is often misunderstood as weakness, but it takes far more strength to remain quiet than to react. Anyone can raise their voice, argue, or throw words back in retaliation. But exercising self-control and staying composed requires immense discipline. Reacting to negativity validates it, confirming that the other person's words hold power over you. But when you refuse to respond, when you withhold your energy, you take away their control. You leave them standing with their negativity, forced to deal with it on their own without the satisfaction of dragging you into it. Energy is one of your most precious resources, and where you direct it shapes the quality of your life. If you constantly invest your energy in reacting to negativity, you're feeding something that doesn't serve you. Instead of using your energy to grow, create, and bring positivity into your life, you're wasting it on things that drain you.